Hello, this is Mark. Video number 7. Okay, we're going to continue on with the layout here. I'm a little happier with it than I was originally. Let's zoom in here a little bit. A couple of things that I just want to try to continue packing things in and getting things closer. Let's see. I got this SW clock and SWD signals that come from the microcontroller. And that's these two. And you can see them here. Let's, and that's 3.3, that's taken care of. So all these other ones are taken care of. So if I just bring these two traces down, I may need to slide this over a little bit to make some room for it. And that's okay. Let's just do that. Let me just say move. And I'm just going to slide it over for a little bit. And I'll bring it back tighter in a moment. But let's take the first one. This is SW clock. I want it 6 mil trace. It's going to have to be in the red layer. We don't have to say much about that. And we'll just take it straight down. I've got really strange zooms set up right now, so this is going to be kind of weird here. Let's see. It has to go to the top one. Okay. So I want to come down. And I can be pretty close here, and I just need to get past that trace. I'm going to click that so I can, let me zoom out and zoom back in here. I can come straight down. Yeah, that should work. Let me just do it to here and then, okay, so there's down to 95 traces. Now I've got this other one that has to kind of follow the same path. Again, my biggest issue is I'm working on such a small screen compared to my normal. But this one here is the SWD. That goes next to it, so we can just take it down. Let's just down there. And I just want to go right along parallel with it. And we'll just I want to come in. We'll just leave it really close. And we're just going to stay on the same side of the red here. I'm going to go over on this side. And it kind of, as you bump up against limits, it actually prevents you from getting too close. So let's try that. Okay, so those, and as I put traces on these things, we got to kind of say, they're not going to move anymore. It has a cost, I should say. Okay, so I've got those two. This one is the run line. Jump to the schematic. Run is a 10K resistor to 3.3. And we do have 3.3 somewhere. We'll need it in several places yet. So, but I can come back and move this thing to much closer. And now I can bring this one trace down. And we'll just do that. Okay. The 3.3 line, we'll have to get to that in a bit. This J9 with all these pins on it, I think I'm going to be moving that a little bit more too. My other one I've got is this these LP1, LP2 lines. Those need to go clear over across the whole thing. And I can't just go to the other side and go there. They're kind of blocked off a little bit. Let me put the blue on top. But there's plenty of space on the blue side. So I can actually bring those two traces out, drop them to blue, bring them down here and around, and then bring them on over. and we'll just get them to the point where we can connect them, and then I'll probably move U5 and U4, which are these two guys that go to all the pins. Then I can move them in really tight once I figure out exactly where they're going to sit. I think I can move this. I think this guy here might be able to move clear down into here. And if I can do that, that's what I'm going to do, because I want to get the board relatively small. So I just need to get all the traces down where I can reach them. You know, let me just I need it out far enough that I can fix the U1 if I need to. Let me just do this. You know, that might just work. So now I've got these two lines to come down, and I just want to bring them out and take them to a via. So let's do this. And again, these are just signals, and I'll just go straight to a via. And that takes me over to blue. And now I've got this trace here, almost to the limit there. And I'm just going to go right around this part. I'm going to leave it short. I'm going to leave it right there in case I want to make any other changes. Now I've got the other one to do the same thing with. Sorry about all the zooming back and forth. I don't know if I've got an easier way to do that right now. As I said, okay, LP2 has to go. So we got a trace, and we're going to bring it down like this. I'm going to put another via. So now it's blue again, and there's no reason to not just do basically the same thing. And we're just going to take it right up to where it limits me. Okay, so those two traces, you know, they look like they go right there, so that should be pretty easy to do. Now I got to be careful not to trap myself, because I've got these two traces also have to go someplace, and those are the USB lines. So those are really critical. So let's see, where do they have to connect? They have to connect to up here, I believe. Yeah, here's the USB lines. So those two have to go to the other side to get down there. Now if I draw blue lines all the way up to the top, then I get myself in trouble also. But in this particular case, all these traces are taken care of. These all can stay on the red side. So if I go on to blue right away and come back down, that may not be too bad. Let me draw them, and we may have to take them back out. So let me just do them. So I'm just going to come up here. Why won't it let me put a via? .06. Okay, I'm going to just slide it over just a little bit, because I got the one to go on the other side. Let me do the other one while I'm at it. These two traces really should stay near each other. They're a differential voltage pair. Okay, so now I can draw those on the blue side. So if I come up with these, we can do the same thing here. Let me draw these traces in. This comes up and goes to a via, and then it'll go on around. And then, oh, I see it. I've got to go around for those. Okay, that's fine. And this other one, we'll do the same thing. We'll come up, we'll go right to a via. And then I'll keep it really close. Okay, so I've got my USB connections in, so that takes care of those. Now these just have to come over here and go to vias and then go to LP2 and LP1, and they're already in the right order, so I could go ahead and just bring those through. And I'm trying to put those vias in line with each other, so if I do really need to get something past them, I can. Okay. So that doesn't look too shabby. Now we flipped the order on all the rest of these for this micro already. So I can just bring these traces straight in. That one's a ground, that's already connected, so I don't have to worry about any of those. So these few can come straight in on the red side. We want to draw a trace, and it'd be on this one. Let me get that out of there. Okay, so we can just come down quite a ways. And we'll just do that with all of them. Now, we do need a strong ground, and you know, I've got a really good ground right here on the blue side, and not any traces need to go through here, I don't think. So let me just go ahead and draw that. And it's a ground trace, I'm going to make it bigger. And so we'll make it 24. Blue, I'm going to start right at the ground here. Come through, kind of want to go down first. And I want to put a via right there. Okay. So now we've got U5 connected. We've got 83 yet to route. So that looks good. So let me move this. You know, there's no reason I can't just go ahead and put it up right here. And the reason I think that is because I've got all these traces that come in, go straight to nice convenient spots. So I could just route those. Let's go back. We need 6 mil trace this time. I suppose I should turn on my do not disturb. Okay, so let's get these in here. Trace, 6 mil. I want to draw a trace. And it keeps us out of trouble in terms of not getting too close to something. It just won't let you. Like that other trace went in too close, so I can't draw this out of here. So let me take this one back out, and let me draw it out further first, and then up. So then this one can go. And again, we'll do the same thing. I don't like the way that one's looking. I might have to move those a little bit because I do see these two. And where do they go? Oh, those are my LEDs. There's no blue traces over here. This should be easy to route any which way. So I think I can get those out of there still. Let's see, what else we got? The 3.3 volt lines fed the other way. The LEDs, and we got the... So all these 4 wires do need to come out somehow. And I may have got this a little bit too tight in here. So I can fix that. It's almost easier for me to redraw them though. So let me hit the escapes, get out of things. So let me just delete this one here. And I'm going to be shoving things around a little bit. And I want to go clear up to the edge. I want as much room as I can. And same with this one. And there's likely easier ways to do this. Okay, I've got 4 wires that need to come out some way. Now these two, I think I'll just take, the SCL, SDA, those I think I can just take to a blue trace to the other side of the board. And I think I can get those out that way. Because very little needs to come back down to the bottom here. I mean, I do need to get the 3.3 volt line up. Maybe I should focus on that too. Let's get that 3.3 volt line resolved. That's the 3.3 line. Underneath the parts, I've got really limited number of sizes of traces I can put in there. This is 3.3 here. Let me start with that. Let's make it big. And I'm going to do a trace from here to here, here, do it via. And I want to put a big via right about there. You know, I bet that's going to violate, well, maybe not. It's like, is that too close? Is that going to violate a few design rule things? Let me edit these two so they're a little better size. Predefined size, let's bring them down to 0.02. That one too. Now that being that dimension, I wonder if I can get by with this one. Edit it, size 0.02, and this one. I may have to redraw those. We'll see what it does. But I'm trying to get the 3-volt line, the main bus line going around inside here to be 3.3, to be larger. In fact, let's just do that. We'll leave that one, but let me just delete some of these out of here. Oops. And, you know, Command Z for when you delete the entire IC out instead of the trace. We'll just delete a bunch of these here and just redraw them to make sure everything is happy. In fact, I'm just going to delete a couple of things here. Because that way I make sure that I had all sorts of little trace pieces in there. Okay, so now I can take, I want to go for a 20 mil trace, red side, starting here. And I want to go like that. Looks way cleaner. So now, to connect to the actual pads, I can only use 6 mil. So now I can see in here, like this one can only do this. So this one can come into here. That one can come into here. That comes in. That one's connected. You know, if we miss something, it'll tell us. Maybe a little later. Regulator V out. So this one's still got to go to the other side. That's a little bit of a problem. We'll keep that one in mind. That one will come back and bite us a little later, probably. Let me go back here. Okay, let me zoom out. You know, things are starting to look not too shabby. Now the board will be smaller if I just move this connector in. That's the only thing that's there that's important. And as long as I can get all the traces where they need to go, you know, the closer it gets, the smaller the board will be. So this whole edge can come in. I'll do that at the end when I start moving things around. But, you know, I'm starting to like the looks of things. Okay, we're at 25 minutes for this video. I hate to torture you for too long. So, okay, we'll call that good for video 7, and we'll see if we can shoot video 8.